Cast of Friday Night Lights. Here's Sports Director Josh Copley.
It is a chilly fall evening here on Bulldog Boulevard. It's time for the Crosstown Showdown as your Hickman County Bulldogs are hosting your East Hickman Eagles. And notice, I'm with Aiden Weber as per usual. I'm Josh Copley. And notice, Aiden, I said your for both teams because we're all in the same county. This is the game that we have been waiting all season for. And this game, as much as the rivalry makes it intense, there are even more stakes being added onto it tonight. Tonight, the winner of this game will be headed to the playoffs, and the first round of the playoffs is set for November 7th here in a couple of weeks. So, Aiden, what's the atmosphere like at Hickman County High School this week?
Well, Josh, I would say the atmosphere at Hickman County High School has been high all week long. Hickman County had, a devastating loss against East Nashville last week, but since it's a rivalry week, we had our pep rally today to hype up the guys and everybody for tonight's game, and so the energy has definitely been high, and they're ready to play.
Yeah, Aiden, I know me and you have talked before outside of this broadcast booth. This is the game I think we were most excited to cover. And, of course, me and you both graduates of Hickman County High School, but now that we've taken on this responsibility with the radio station, we're covering for both counties tonight. So for us, I think we're just hoping we see an electric, awesome game, high competition, a lot of intensity on the field. Now, there will be a winner tonight. Unfortunately, for one of these teams, there will also have to be a loser. And I was talking to both coaches this week. I got to catch up first with Coach Chris Austin of the East Hickman Eagles. And I asked him, I said, Coach Austin, what are your thoughts going into this game? What does a rivalry mean to you and your guys? How do you game plan? Is there anything different that you do? And he responded to me, he said, we all love a good rivalry. He said, I think we can all root for each other except for one game of the year. So what I love that Coach Austin did when I talked to him, he was able to blend that community so well with the competitiveness. He made the point, of course, that, yes, we are in the same county, but tonight, it's a competition. You can cheer for the other as much as you want outside of tonight, but tonight it's all business, it's all about what takes place out there on the field. And what he said is also something that we've talked about a lot. And we said last week and in weeks prior that it doesn't matter what the records are. You can throw those out the window because as we know last year, East Hickman was an absolute juggernaut. It was one of the best Eagle teams we've probably seen in the recent years. And Hickman County didn't have a great year last year, to put it bluntly. But even still, when these two teams faced off last season right here on Jerry Bratton Field, the Hickman County Bulldogs took the Eagles to overtime. And they were one or two plays away from actually winning that game and taking down the Eagles when no one else thought it was possible. So if that's what Hickman County looked like last year, I think this year a lot of people think it's much more of an even playing field because both of these teams, they only have 2 wins apiece. Now, you can't let that tell the entire story of these two programs. They have both had tremendously difficult schedules. The district that they're in also has not done them any favors either. There are some powerhouses in this district, teams like East Nashville, East Robertson, just to name a couple. Houston County as well gave these Hickman County teams fits. But now it's all about how they square off against one another. And a lot of people that I've talked to said it seems to be 50-50. It's as even as we've seen. And I was talking to Coach Austin. He said that it's always going to be a fun atmosphere. He knows that the crowd's going to be loud. They're going to be rowdy. Both bands are going to be playing their absolute hearts out. The cheerleaders are going to be cheering their absolute best. The fans are going to be as loud and as obnoxious as they possibly can be. And we would expect nothing different. Now, also with Coach Austin. Now, he is the head coach currently for the East Hickman Eagles, but that's not where he started. When Coach Austin first came to Hickman County, he started here in Centerville. He started with the Hickman County Bulldogs as an assistant coach, but of course he then departed, took the head coaching job at East, and he's turned them into a pretty impressive program because as we know, a lot of us love Coach Austin. We have a lot of respect for him. I know, Aiden, you're probably too young, but for me, I had him as a teacher in high school. I loved Coach Austin. It was a pleasure getting to catch up with him, and it's no surprise East has been as good as they've been recently because he's an awesome guy on and off the field, and he's a guy that these players want to play for. And to continue on with what Coach Austin was saying, in regards to preparation, he said that there is probably a little bit more attention to detail this week than normal. Now, coaches never want to admit they take a game more or less serious. They want to stay competitive through and through. They don't want to give any side a mental advantage over the other by any means. But he had to admit that this game, it always means just a little bit more. So they've been paying attention to detail, have those East Hickman Eagles. And he does feel like that they are moving in the right direction, although they have had a bit of a down year this year compared to last year. But he also gave a lot of credit to Coach Pat Smith as well. He knows, just as we all know, the situation that Coach Smith came into. It was a coaching carousel to start the year. We saw there was a previous hiring with Coach Mark Hastings that he left. Unfortunately, he departed, and then that kind of forced Pat Smith into the spotlight when he probably wasn't expecting it. But Coach Smith has taken this team as a first-year coach, and he's really done a pretty good job. And this goes back to what we said earlier. You cannot let the record tell the entire story. I mean, other coaches are acknowledging the difficult task that's been put in front of him. And he has been a great leader of these guys. And I've also got a chance to talk to Coach Smith as well, just as I was able to talk to Coach Austin as well. And the first thing that Coach Smith told me is that he was honored to be a part of a great community rivalry. And I think that's a great thing you want to hear from a first-year head coach, and that's what the fans want to hear as well. They want to hear a coach that has respect for this rivalry. You don't want someone that blows it off, that sees it as another game, because it's not just another game. It's something that brings this community together. You get everybody in Hickman County in one spot, all cheering on these young guys on the field for the hard work they've been putting in. So Coach Smith recognizes, and he even said that earlier in the season. He said that the rivalry game, we're going to embrace it. We're going to welcome the atmosphere, the energy, because why wouldn't you? It's fun. That's what you live for as a coach and as a player, as a broadcaster, as a fan. We cannot say enough good things about either of these coaches, but of course Coach Smith has done such a wonderful job this season being a leader, even stepping into an uncertain situation. But he also said this game is getting a bit more attention to detail, not just because it's East Hickman, but also because this game has playoff implications. And Coach Smith said that's all he could ask for as a coach, to be playing meaningful football here mid-late October, to try to be able to rally up his guys in spite of all their injuries they've sustained, in spite of all the downs they've faced. They still have a chance to play football past the regular season, and what a job that would be for Coach Smith to get his guys in that position. So have you seen some of those things, Aiden, out of either of these coaches during your time this year at Hickman County?
Yeah, Josh, I mean, just like how I said earlier, how Hickman County's been pumped all week, but you have to think about East. I know they've done preparation. We've done preparation. We've played some difficult teams. East has played some difficult teams. And so I think both teams have prepared very well for tonight. And we have a packed house. East has showed up, Hickman has showed up, and so I'm very excited for tonight's game, and I think it'll be a close game to the wire.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Smith even told me, he said that, he wants to treat every rep in practice, every rep in the game the same, like they all matter, of the utmost importance. But he said he would be lying if this one did not mean just a little bit more. And he even went as far to say that any small edge could be the difference in who wins or loses this game tonight.
It will be the difference, Josh!
Coach Smith was saying that, even being familiar with the surface that you're playing on, with the field, because East Hickman, they haven't been on this field since a year ago. Hickman County is used to being on this field pretty often, and, to the fans listening, that may sound silly, but that's the truth. They are more familiar with the grass, how it plays, and that might be the difference here tonight.
Definitely, Josh. Mr. Dotson is pumped up here. I don't know if the viewers can tell.
And see, Aiden, I think that just shows how much this rivalry means, not just to students,
It means a lot!
not just to players, but to staff, but to teachers.
It means everything!
And I'm sure if we look out on that other side, Aiden, to the East Hickman fan base, I'm sure there are plenty of teachers and staff from the East Hickman school system as well, because everybody wants to be a part of this. I know for you, I was talking to you, I said, Aiden, are you sure you don't want to be down there in the student section with your guys? And you said you wanted to be right up here calling the game with one of the best seats in the house.
Yeah, Josh, just like you told me, being up here is kind of being part of the team, you know, and I am very glad to have this opportunity. Glad that Mr. Dotson allows me to do this along with WNKX, and so this season has been very fun.
And for us, Aiden, of course, we are focused on this game, but also the coaches locked in, the players locked in, the fans locked in as well. And another note on Coach Smith, a note that I got from him when I was talking to him about this game and what it means and what he was doing to prepare. He said it would be an absolute failure on his part if his guys were not focused, if they were not prepared. Because for him, that's his job. And the Hickman County Bulldogs, to the tune of Inner Sandman by Metallica, make their way to the sideline. And Aiden, we are just a little under 5 minutes away from kickoff here at Kenneth Moe Wright Stadium on Bulldog Boulevard, just outside of Hickman County High School. The Eagles visiting in from Lyles, just down the road to the hosting Bulldogs in Centerville. And Aiden, to talk a little bit about the nature of what this game's going to look like. I know me and you have had conversations with players and coaches. These are two teams that are not shy about how they play offense. They run the ball a lot. They want to take a lot out of the clock. They want to win the possession battle, I believe, is how we can look at that the best. And I'm sure you've heard something similar as well.
Yeah, Josh, I think tonight mostly will be a mental challenge, you know, just because of the atmosphere and everything of that nature. But, I mean, both Hickman and East have two very similar playing styles, and so I think you'll just, you know, we'll see who is more mentally tough coming here tonight.
And Aiden, I've heard as well, I'm sure you have as well, East Hickman, they're probably going to come out in a formation with very few wide receivers beyond the hashes. They're going to put the big boys up front, rely on them to block, and try to open up some holes so their running backs can find some room to move, to push the ball downfield, to get these chunk plays. Because something that East Hickman is missing this year, they had last year, was Nathan Hobbs at tight end. Hobbs was an absolute force offensively last year. He was racking up yards. He was racking up touchdowns. He was a red zone threat if there ever was one. That was almost a guarantee to be getting the ball if they were near the end zone. But they don't have him anymore. He's gone on to college. So now it's about how these teams can change their game plan based on who they have around them. Now, Hickman County Coach Smith comes in tonight with a team that's really not that different. Now, Andy Kraft was tasked with being the quarterback last year. So all he's done this year is just have another year of experience under his belt. So the offense, of course, last year, still very run-heavy. So Hickman County is keeping consistent, to say the least, but East having to try something a little bit different. So let's see if that has any kind of marking on this game.
Yeah, Josh, and we saw a little bit from East Nashville that Hickman County has tried to change it up a little bit through the season, just keeping some pass plays and running plays. So maybe they'll change it up tonight. Maybe they'll keep it the same, and I'm just can't wait to get into this football game.
To the captains at midfield. From our vision, we can see the Hickman County Bulldog captains. As per usual, it's John Michael Lewis, Ruger Toddy, Jaden Street, and Andy Kraft. So both teams shake it up, a sign of respect to one another before kickoff here this evening on a cool, crisp fall night. And Aiden, I'm so glad we finally got that cool breeze going. It feels like football weather. Big-time rivalry game, cool air. Let's get it on. And the fans, as we can hear up here, Aiden, are already going crazy. They're ready to go. We hear some screams down there. And it looks like the Hickman County Bulldogs will be returning to start things off tonight, which means the Eagles will be receiving the second half kickoff. And something you may notice that's a little different about our score bug here tonight is that it usually reads the name of the high school, but tonight, being an intimate county setting, we got the cities. The Bulldogs representing Centerville, the Eagles representing Lyles. Lyles, of course, my home turf. And East Hickman, as we knew they would, have started to pack the stands. And the Eagles now make their entrance at Kenneth Moe Wright Stadium. Their fans giving them a warm welcome to hostile territory.
Tonight we do want to welcome back the class of 2005, which is here celebrating their 20-year high school reunion. They'll be celebrating that tomorrow night. We also welcome back the class of 1985, who's here celebrating their 40-year reunion. We said that for clarification because we know that these fans cannot do that.
And Aiden, with this football game that we're about to watch, I think we've seen Andy Kraft start to ease back into that role. He's looked more comfortable over these last few weeks. I mean, we saw the first snap he took back on the field was a design quarterback keeper. So if Andy wasn't 100% a couple weeks ago, you got to think he's a lot closer now. So Andy, it's going to be on his shoulders tonight to lead this offense, to guide them. And the opening kicks away. It's a shallow kick. Bounces at the 30 and fielded at that 30-yard line by Braden McCaleb. So Dogs with a 1st and 10 to start this evening. And out trots Andy Kraft, the son of a sheriff, and the offense.
At HCHS.
Under center, Kraft gives. That's McCaleb. Bounces off a blocker, but not much going. He'll get maybe a yard. So already, Aiden, we're seeing Hickman County try to set the tone with their big guy, Braden McCaleb, trying to get some tough yards on the ground. And with the ground game being such a big part of the game tonight, we're probably going to see a lot of reliance on those guys up front. Who's going to win the war in the trenches? The Eagle line or the Bulldog line? Whoever wins that, I believe that's who wins the football game here tonight. Kraft in the gun, snap, keeper, has some room, bounces outside, has a block, and surges past the 35, close to the 36.
Kraft works his way for 5 yards. That leaves
So already, Hickman County looking good up front, blocking thus far. Those guys up front, of course, senior Ruger Toddy has been such a vital part of that offensive line, especially in the absence of Chase Sims.
Definitely, Josh, and Coach Smith is very big on the offensive line, so let's see what they do tonight.
They'll spot Kraft at the 35, 3rd and 5, snap, up the gut. And not a lot going. Forward progress will give him about half a yard, but a penalty marker is down. Really, you don't think that play had enough time to develop for a hold. And a sideline warning has just been issued against East Hickman. And I believe they'll be replaying the down, so it'll be 3rd. No, they will not be replaying the down, it'll be 4th down. But the warning is still issued out. They'll spot McCaleb down at the 36. 4th and 4 for the Dogs. Wondering what the play call is. It looks like the offense is going to stay out there. And Kraft is at center, it looks like. And now here comes Scott Qualls onto the field, the punter. And we saw last week against East Nashville, Coach Smith tried some trickery, some early fake punts. They didn't pan out like he would have liked them to, but he's trying to make the defense, the other side, special teams, keep them on their heels a little bit. And not liking what they're seeing, a timeout has been called by Hickman County.
Now, Josh, as we were talking about Braden McCaleb earlier, he's been such a important piece of this Dogs team this season, and so I plan on to see them giving him the ball tonight.
I don't see why not. Once again, we thank you for joining us. Whether you are with us on the WNKX Facebook or YouTube channels, or whether you're in your vehicle listening in on the radio at 96.7 FM. And it looks like Qualls set to punt things away for the Dogs. And it's a high kick, not very far. It's a wobbler, but it does take a Bulldog bounce. Rolls inside the 35, and it will stop at around the 33. John Michael Lewis, the senior captain there to down the football. And Aiden, of course, tonight, senior night as well. These seniors, close to 20 seniors on this team. And that just shows the roster that Coach Smith has built, how much these guys are wanting to play for him. They're coming in droves to play under Coach Smith, and this has been one of the deepest Hickman County rosters we've seen in some time, with a very talented freshman and sophomore class.
Yeah, Josh, I mean, with all the seniors we have, they've definitely shown their leadership this year.
So East, once again,
That's got to be offside.
starting with a tight package. And it will be a false start called against East Hickman. So that'll back them up 5 yards. So Aiden, already we're seeing the similarities in offensive formations. Not a lot of focus or emphasis on the wide receivers, but just keeping a close-knit group up there up front and letting your running backs and ball carriers do the work behind those big guys blocking for them. So definitely not how the Eagles wanted to start things off here tonight, going backwards 5 yards, 1st and 15. And again, they motion. And the whistle blows. I believe that's a delay of game. Yes, it is. So already a shaky start, Aiden, as far as discipline goes. Already 2 early penalties has them behind the 8 ball. It'll be a 1st and 20 before they even take a snap.
And, Josh, I think if you're Hickman County, you're kind of glad. I mean, everything's going your way, it seems like, thus far.
Hopefully we can keep what Coach Smith was saying. It all comes down to who can do the little things the best. That's who's going to win the football game. And East again. Snap. It's a run to the right. Has a convoy. Cuts upfield. Has some room and hit by Andy Kraft and wrangled down. That was number 26, Micah Godfrey, the senior on the carry. And in one play, they get the penalty yardage back. So 2nd down and 10. So a pretty good carry by East Hickman. So maybe those penalties were on purpose, Aiden, to lull the Dogs into a false sense of security. Snap. Give up the middle. Whistle blows. Play is blown dead again. The penalty marker is down. Looks like another false start. No. Offsides. Called against the Bulldogs. So it'll be a 2nd down and 5. So already 3 penalties combined for both teams early on. And I think, Aiden, it all comes down to being able to silence that noise, if you will, to calm your emotions down amidst all the chaos and the atmosphere. 2nd and 5, snap, give up the gut. Hickman County ready for it, though. They'll drag down Godfrey just shy of the 40.
3rd down and 3 yards to go.
It'll be a 3rd down and 3 for the Eagles. We're expecting to call Godfrey's name a lot tonight, the reliable senior halfback. Number 9, Dwayne Lampley, taking snaps. And they're give up the middle on 3rd and 3. Godfrey has space and kiss him goodbye. He's going to coast it on in for a touchdown. East Hickman. Godfrey takes it 61 yards to get the party started this evening. And Aiden, that was just phenomenal patience by Godfrey to wait for his blocks to open up. He found the gap, shot through it, and the rest was history.
Yeah, Josh, that was a beautiful play by East Hickman, but if you're Hickman County, you can't be discouraged. There's a lot of game left to be played.
And East Hickman out here to attempt the 2-point conversion. Lampley in the gun, snap. It's going to be a keeper on the read option, and he goes untouched into the end zone for a successful 2-point conversion. Each team has had the ball once. East Hickman leads 8-0 with 8 minutes and 32 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
2005 celebrating 20 years since their graduation. Their senior class, the senior homecoming king and queen were Tara Tucker and Andrew Litton. Football
And we know tonight, Aiden, here at Kenneth Moe Wright Stadium, we're having a celebration of sorts on top of senior night. The 2005 class having their reunion this evening, as well as the 1985 class. So it's good to see all of these alumni of Hickman County able to be back on campus. Some familiar faces get to meet and greet one another again after what could be a long time of seeing one another. So we always appreciate these reunions. It also helps boost the crowd numbers a little bit here at Moe Wright Stadium as well. So the Eagles set to kick things away to the Dogs. The last kickoff fell only to the 30-yard line. And it's away. Another wobbler, not going to go very far, takes a bounce, and it's fallen on at the 32 by Braden McCaleb once more.
Dogs will start first and 10 at their own 32.
So the Dogs will have first and 10. Not much going their last offensive drive. A good defensive possession by the Eagles. And both bands on full display here tonight. Aiden, someone called the band the heart and soul of the crowd noise. So Kraft in the gun. One receiver out wide to the right. Snap. Sweep in motion. It's Hutchison. Cuts upfield inside. And gets chopped down at the 35. He'll get a few. He'll get 3 yards on the first down carry. Second down and 7. So Devin Tucker subbing out for number 23, Eli Johnson at wide receiver. Johnson, another senior on this team. Tucker is as well. Snap, give, Hutchison follows his blocks, a great patient run. Close to the sticks, and he should have enough for a Bulldog first down, and that he does.
4 seasons outdoors, first down, Hickman County.
So Hickman's first chain mover of the night gets them down to the 45, courtesy of Taylor Hutchison. Kraft in the gun. McCaleb flanking him to his left. Johnson out wide to the right. Motion. Hutchison, direct keeper up the middle. Kraft has a lane. Darting through, breaks a tackle. And dives forward into Eagle territory past the 45, close to the 44. That'll be another first down for the Dogs. And Aiden, this was a drive that Hickman County needs to have. After East Hickman pretty much took all momentum to start this game on the road, which is a very difficult thing to do, so the Bulldogs need to feed off that hometown crowd if they want to stay in this ball game, keep it competitive. Kraft in the gun. Snap. Gives it to the returning Braden Armstrong, and he's not going to get a whole lot, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. So, Aiden, we know we didn't have Braden Armstrong last week on the roster. He was dealing with an injury. They didn't want to risk furthering that knee injury. He's tweaked it in practice from what we were told, but it's good to see him back on the field for these Bulldogs. Coming out is Austin Blystad. John Michael Lewis in the game. And McCaleb, a great patient run, a great block as well, getting down inside the 35. And usually, Aiden, we see Braden try to use his physicals to just plow through guys. But right there, we saw some great patience by McCaleb on that run, slowing his feet a little bit, slowing his stride, letting those guys up front do their job and open up the holes for him. Down to the 34-yard line are the Dogs with their third first down on the drive. Kraft gives the street, makes some moves, lowers his head and dives forward. Not much going, maybe a yard at most. East Hickman not giving anything up easily. Snap. Give McCaleb up the middle. Had a hole open up, and he goes through for a good gain.
To the 26-yard line after a gain of 8. Third down, 2 to go.
This will be a 3rd down and 2 for the Dogs. Ball spotted near the 27. 5 minutes left to play in this first quarter. Kraft under center, snap, give to Street, tries to find an opening, cuts back to the left, and he's got a yard or two. It's going to be close, depends on the spot. And the officials signal 4th down and a foot. 4th and inches. And Coach Smith certainly going to keep his offense on the field. Kraft getting the call from the sideline, trots back to the huddle. Under center, snap, Kraft on the keeper. They're pushing the pile. Kraft still moving and finally gets taken down. And forward progress will be enough for a Bulldog first down.
First down, Hickman County.
So Hickman County with their own variant of the tush push, if you will, reminiscent of the Philadelphia Eagles. A little brotherly shove. So Armstrong coming back out into the huddle. Kraft alongside it. Kraft in the gun. Snap. It's a keeper. Great read by Kraft. Finds the hole. Dives through past the 15. Down to the 14-yard line. And the Dogs are now in the red zone and knocking at the door.
And so far, Josh, we have seen the talent and the strength of Andy Kraft.
Kraft showing that, much like on that east side, anybody can get the ball in any given play. So Kraft will take it under center. Snap. Give them to Caleb. Looked like he found an opening, but spins and trips down.
Spins his way down to the 13.
We'll get to the 13-yard line. That'll be enough to move the chains for a Bulldog first down. There's a 2nd down and short, and why not give it to your oh-so-reliable big man in Braden McCaleb. Kraft in the gun, McCaleb to his left, Armstrong and Johnson wide left as receivers. Kraft wants to throw, rolls right, pressure coming, escapes. He's got to get rid of it, or maybe not. Maybe he'll tuck it. Maybe he'll get a first down. Maybe he'll go all the way for a touchdown. Hickman County, Andy Kraft. A little do-it-yourself, but a penalty marker is down. And it will be against the Bulldogs. Illegal block in the back, and that play will be coming back. The touchdown negated. And Aiden, that's the risk you take when a quarterback gets out of the pocket. The old linemen lose track of who they're trying to block, where they're trying to be for their blocking assignment, trying to protect a quarterback who's not where he usually is. And that's what can happen. Those illegal block in the back calls, if not a block in the back, we'll see holdings take place a lot in those kind of situations. But still a great carry by Kraft. Hickman County looking to keep the momentum going.
Definitely, Josh. And like we said earlier, this is going to be a mental game. And so those mistakes and penalties, they just have to look past that and keep playing.
Hickman County still with a first down and 10 because of where the flag occurred. Snap. It's going to be a give, a little reverse to Hutchison. Cuts up field. Still on his feet. And he's wrangled down. A pretty good carry by Hutchison. Gets close to the 8-yard line. Just over 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. So we have 2nd down and a long 5, a short 6 for the Dogs at the 8-yard line. Kraft in the pistol, snap, give Armstrong on the sweep. It's a foot race, but he's wrangled and thrown to the ground, and a penalty marker is thrown, and that's going to be a horse collar. It was like number 12, the sophomore Michael Garrett in pursuit. The official is going to talk over this penalty. Looked like a horse collar from here, but We can't be sure. That was a great pursuit by East Hickman. Armstrong, not an easy guy to track down by any means, but tackle just a little bit too high right there.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle.
And they do confirm it is a horse collar against the Eagles, and that'll get Hickman County even closer.
Goal for the Bulldogs.
So that will be a first down and goal for Hickman County following the personal foul. Ball be spotted. So the ball spotted at the 6-yard line. Kraft from the keeper, and he has stood up immediately and met by a flock of Eagles. And he's going backwards. So now it's 3rd down and 6. The personal foul, not an automatic first down. Blystad coming back in for the Dogs. Lewis coming out. Having Blystad in the huddle. Of course, a big body you like to rely on when you're so close to the goal line. A minute remains in the first quarter. Kraft rolls left, looks to pass, fires, caught by Jaden Street inside the 5, down to the 2. And that will be enough to move the chains for a 1st and goal. And that's a big-time chain mover for Hickman County. 1st and goal, a lot better than having 4th and 1.
Definitely, Josh. And I like seeing Andy Kraft throw the ball, and good completion there by Jaden Street.
Well, and East Hickman has some good pressure on Kraft, but Andy's so elusive, hard to bring down. He did a good job of not panicking, and they'll give it to McCaleb. Lowers the shoulder to the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown, Hickman County. And the Dogs are on the board for the first time tonight.
And that is a Goods Fireworks touchdown. Boom!
So the Dogs, a 2-point conversion will tie it, but looks like they're sending Parker Lambert out to kick the point after.
Hickman County with 6 on the board. Parker
Now, last week, Aiden, Hickman County only had 3 points on the board, but those 3 were some of the most impressive points we've seen this year. Parker Lambert with a stellar field goal. Lambert, the PAT is up, and it's right down the middle.
And with 25 seconds to go in the game.
With 25 seconds left to go in the first quarter, your score, Eagles 8, Dogs 7.
After the McCaleb touchdown.
So McCaleb getting the Dogs on the board first. Not a lot of surprise, though, that McCaleb was the guy to strike first for the Dogs.
Yeah, McCaleb has been just a powerful force this whole season, and he showed it right there in that play.
The Dog front, a great job of blocking for him as well. And Aiden, Hickman County did such a great job on that drive on not letting that illegal block in the back stunt their progress. I mean, whenever you have a touchdown called back, that can take a toll on your mental for the drive, on your mentality, on your mindset. But Hickman County stayed strong. They persevered through the penalty. They found a way to the end zone. So Hickman County, when they needed to answer, they do just that. And all of a sudden, each team finds the end zone. And Aiden, this is exactly what we wanted to see, what the fans wanted to see. They wanted Hickman County to find the end zone. East Hickman, they want their guys to find the end zone. But everybody watching, us included, we want it to be competitive. We want it to be back and forth, and Lambert booms it through the end zone. And that'll be a touchback. East Hickman will take over 1st and 10 at the 25.
Will take over 1st and 10 at the 25. If you are never not with us, you can watch and listen to these games on WNKX with play-by-play man Josh Copley and color commentator Aiden Weber, YouTube and Facebook. Always streaming.
So East Hickman
Eagles will have it 1st and 10.
looking to keep the momentum on their side after Hickman County tried to take it back. Quarterback in the gun. Motion, snap. It's a give, a little reverse play, sweep. And he stays on his feet. A tough run.
Lewis, Smith, Blostad, McCaleb in on the tackle for Hickman
Lewis,
County.
they're the first man in on the tackle.
Right up, second down and 10 as he stopped for no gain.
There's number 15, Austin Ware, the senior receiver on the sweep.
And after one quarter here,
And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that brings us to the end of our first quarter. At the end of one, your score, East 8, Hickman 7. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with quarter number 2.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald family. Heritage Bank and Trust and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And we are back with the second quarter about to be underway from Hickman County High School. In case you're just joining us on WNKX's YouTube, Facebook pages, or on the radio at 96.7 FM, the Eagles currently lead by 1 point over the Dogs, 8-7. And if you're watching the live stream, you notice the unique score bug here tonight. We're representing each team through their city tonight, because we're both Hickman County at the end of the day. So that's the only differentiation we can make. Snap to give out to the right. Tries to get some space. And it was a foot race around the edge. A couple of yards there on the carry. Kraft brings down Drake Cole.
After a gain of 3.
Cole, a senior, on the carry. So the second down play goes for about 3. It'll be a 3rd down and 7 for the Eagles. Hickman County with a chance to get off the field defensively. And it looked like East Hickman got a jump from the Bulldogs, the hard count. So Lampley's hard count will make this 3rd down a much more manageable 3rd down and 2. So Aiden, the betting man, would say the Eagles probably going to go to the ground game here on this 3rd down and short. They're in the gun, though, as Lampley snap. It's a keeper up the gut, tackled at the line, and he's not going to get it. Hickman County had it read perfectly. Lampley, a tremendous athlete in his own right. That's no easy task to bring him down. But Hickman County does just that. Ball spot at the 29. And they may give him a half a yard if that. So it'll be a 4th down, long 1, short 2.
4th and 1. Bulldog fans, make some noise for your defense.
And this play could be a tide turner. The offense stays on the field for the Eagles. Hickman stacking the box. Quarterback in the gun, and they got him again. Another Lampley hard count gives the Eagles a 1st down. So Aiden, it appears that Lampley's hard count has been their best offense on this possession thus far. And that's quite a skill for a quarterback to learn. You want to know how to do that. Take advantage of an antsy defense who's probably a little riled up out there. Lampley on the gun yet again, 1 receiver out to the right. Snap. It's a keeper up the gut. Blystead from behind makes initial contact. And a penalty marker is thrown in the backfield. Or perhaps it's just a towel that found its way on the field. No flag. So a 1.5 yards on the keeper. Snap. The ball's lost. The ball's out.
The ball is
And he
fumbled,
falls on it
recovered by East Hickman
at the 30-yard line. That was recovered by number 15, Austin Ware.
There's a flag on the field.
And on those sweep plays that we've seen Hickman County do this year, a lot of moving parts. It's hard to execute those plays perfectly from time to time. And we see a risk you take when you run those motion plays. And holding is called against the Eagles, probably going to decline it here. Bring up the 3rd down and long. And the officials talking to the coaches on the sideline of Hickman County, trying to sort out what they want to do.
Zero professionalism.
So they're still waiting for a decision, and they will decline the penalty after a fairly lengthy discussion. It'll be a 3rd down and 16. So a long way to go for these Eagles on 3rd down with 9 minutes to go in the first half.
3rd and long. We're going to jump 3 times.
Snap. Give to Godfrey up the middle. Has a hole. Darts through, still on his feet. And he takes it close to the line to gain, shy by about 2 yards.
Godfrey with a gain of 14 yards. That'll bring up a 4th down and 2.
Well, and when you need a lot of yards, give it to the guy that took you a 61-yard carry to the house. So 4th down, they'll say his knee was down further than what we initially thought from the booth. So it'll be a 4th down and about 3 yards to go from the 42. And the Eagles, after that run, maybe have the confidence to keep their offense on the field. At the very least, try a hard count to get the Dogs to jump again. Snap. Godfrey, direct snap to him up the middle. He's still on his feet at midfield. Takes it into Bulldog territory at the 49. Micah Godfrey, the senior, has been a difference maker tonight, Aiden.
He sure has, Josh, and hopefully Hickman County can find a solution to that problem.
So 1st and 10. 1st and 10. Snap. That's a give to Godfrey. And that was a great sell by Lampley. Give him the Oscar.
After a game of about 7.
And Aiden, to me, that looked like a direct keeper for Lampley. Sold it well, ran right into the tacklers, and Godfrey flies around the edge to get a pretty decent gain of 6 yards. 2nd down and 4 for the Eagles at the Dog 43. Snap. Give on the sweep. Hickman County ready for it. That was number 8, Jackson Smith.
After a loss of 1.
Another senior on this Hickman County team, and that'll be
3rd
a loss.
and 5 to go.
So from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 5 for the Eagles. And Aiden, it seems like every name we call on this Hickman County side of things will be a senior. Just shows the depth of this class, as we saw with the senior night festivities before the kickoff. 3rd and 5. Lampley in the gun. Snap. It's a give up the gut. Has some room. Cuts up field. And that'll be another East Hickman 1st down. And Aiden, East has been able to tally off so many of these chunk plays. One after another, it seems, for this Eagle offense. And East Hickman definitely not shy about their game plan. No passes to this point in the game, and why not? And Lampley lost a handle of it, keeps it himself, and makes something out of what initially looked like nothing, and gets a couple of yards. And Aiden, something we can say about these two quarterbacks is that they are masters of improv. When something goes wrong on the field, you can't count them out just yet.
So I walked into a
And the second down play goes up the middle. So third down and long, third and medium coming up for the Eagles. About 6 yards to go to move the chains. And Aiden, some would say on these third and long situations, East has this Hickman defense right where they want us. They have been dominant on these third and long plays.
Yes. Yeah, bring that to me. Okay. That's it.
Third and 6, snap. Lampley gives up the gut. And he's got a few plowing his way forward almost to the line to gain. He'll be just short. Fourth down and a yard to go to move the chains.
Fourth down.
Senior Drake Cole and senior Micah Godfrey been alternating in and out tonight, sharing the load, if you will. So fourth down, Eagles gonna go for it. It's a snap, give up the middle, and Cole's gonna have it by plenty, and that's a first down for East Hickman with 4 minutes to go in the first half. And Aiden, something we talked about before the game, and it's really showing itself now. Both of these teams are going to rack up the possession time.
Torture rack.
So the fourth down conversion. First and 10 for the Eagles at the 25. Snap. Directly to Godfrey. Goes to the right. Follows his blockers. And what acceleration by Godfrey. And he'll have the first down into the red zone.
First down, East Hickman.
And again, another note, Aiden, on these quarterbacks, they're both immensely physical. Usually a lot of quarterbacks, they'll give the ball off and let their guy do the rest. Not right there. We see Kraft do the same thing what Lampley just did right there. He was leading the charge as a blocker. You just don't see that very often at the quarterback position. So what a privilege it is for us to watch these two guys lead these offenses. First and 10 for East. Snap. Give. Not going anywhere. The Bulldogs were ready for it. Austin Blystad there to meet Godfrey in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 4 yards for East Hickman.
And Josh, this year is Blystad's first year playing football, but I think he's done great so far this season.
He has certainly proven to be a fast learner. He has stepped into his position. He has done it well, so all credit in the world to Austin Blystad. Of course, his 6'4", 230-pound frame has helped a lot in that department. So second down and long, run play for East Hickman. They give it to Godfrey. Pack of dogs there to meet him. He'll get only about 2 yards. Third down and 13. So third and long, but once again, Aiden, we've seen you cannot count out these Eagles on these third and long situations. And how about that? East Hickman with another touchdown. Who else but number 26? Micah Godfrey. Godfrey finds the end zone once again to widen the lead for the Eagles. And East once again going to attempt the two-point conversion.
Y'all are first, right? Y'all and East and us. Fans.
I assume so.
Snap. Lamb with the keeper up the middle, drug down, close to the goal line.
And the two-point conversion is no
and the officials will mark him short. The two-point conversion is no good for the Eagles. Your score with 1 minute and 55 seconds left to play in the first half, East Hickman 14, Hickman County 7.
Class of 1985, they'll be having their
The Eagles now about to kick things away after the touchdown by Micah Godfrey.
Then he comes to Hickman County like he's a true county guy.
Tush push. Did you hear me calling for it up here? I was calling for it.
And the kicks away by number 27, Jaden Malugin, fielded. Pittman has some room. East Hickman in pursuit, drags him down at the 42.
2-yard line.
So there's that spark plug player, Jacoby Pittman. Been such a fun player to watch on special teams this year for the Dogs.
The class of 2005 tonight, QB1 from the class of 2005, Marty Wallace.
And Josh, he is also a senior, and so this is last year, but like you said, he's been fun to watch with his speed and just his quickness overall.
Now Hickman County spreading the field. Blystad out wide to the right, Kraft in the gun, snap.
No way, I don't believe it.
Fires over the middle, intercepted. It's going the other way. Still on his feet, down the sideline, and finally drugged down near the 20-yard line in plus territory. A big momentum swing for the East Hickman Eagles.
They take it down to the 20-yard line of Hickman County.
And that was number 27, the defensive back, who also just had the kickoff, Jaden Malugin. East Hickman with all the momentum right now. And remember, Aiden, the Eagles get the ball to start the second half. So if they score right here and get the ball to start the third quarter, they have a chance to go up 3 scores before the Dogs even touch the football again if they play their cards right on this drive. First and 10 for East Hickman. Snap. Lampley gives up the middle. Breaks some tackles. Still on his feet. Drugged down inside the 5. That's a first down for East Hickman. Austin Ware on the carry. So we've seen a Ware, Cole, and a Godfrey splitting carries here tonight with an occasional carry or two by Lampley, the quarterback, the shot caller. And East gonna wise at the clock, run down as far as they can to ensure that Andy Kraft and the Hickman County offense doesn't get a chance to touch it again before the half's end. And a timeout called by East Hickman as they let the play clock wind all the way down to 1. And Aiden, this is where the psychology, the mental aspect of the game really comes into play. If you're Hickman County, you got to have a stop here. That's really going to wear on you in the locker room. You walk into the half dejected, feeling low. Meanwhile, the guys on the other side of the field, the East Hickman Eagles, they're walking up chest puffed out, head held high, knowing they get the ball back to start the third quarter. And we can have a big-time swing here at Jerry Bratton Field if the Dogs aren't careful.
Definitely, Josh. But like Hickman County's known for, they're known for their defense. So I'm excited to see what the defense will bring out in this next drive.
You've got a run-heavy team inside the 5 against a stout defense. These are the battles we like to see on the football field, on the gridiron. Now both teams out of their timeout. 55 seconds left to play. Snap, keeper up the middle, jumps up, breaks out around the edge. How'd he do it? That's a touchdown for the Eagles. Number 35, Luke Cole, the fullback. Diving into the pile, looked like he was stood up. Keeps his balance, bounces around the right side for another East Hickman touchdown. And once again, the Eagles certainly going to attempt the 2-point conversion. Snap up the middle. Luke Cole again. No, that was not Cole. But that was Lampley on the keeper for the 2-point conversion. So the lead widens even further. (22-7) your score in favor of the visiting East Hickman Eagles with just under a minute to play in the first half. Now, Aiden, if you're the Bulldogs here, already trailing 2 scores, knowing East Hickman gets the ball in the second half, does that change your play calling any at the end of this second quarter? You know your quarterback just threw an interception. His morale probably isn't the best as far as throwing the football, but it almost feels like you have to. If you run the ball, unless you have some play break away, get a big chunk play, which so far we haven't seen a lot of those from Hickman County, you run the risk of just bleeding out the clock, and then you're left with nothing. If you're Hickman County, you've got to think you almost have to try to force the ball down the field, let it fly, get your most sure-handed receivers out wide, and let Kraft throw it up to them and see what kind of plays they can make.
Yeah, Josh, I totally agree. I think sometimes you just have to take chances and just see what the outcome will be.
The kick fielded by Hutchinson at the 30. Bounces left, follows some blockers. Tries to stay on his feet, but he's wrangled down. Number 23, Armando Stokes. Got Hutchison by the legs and didn't let go. It's a viable strategy. There was a penalty marker down, a personal foul called against East Hickman. So that gives the Dogs a bit better field position with 43 seconds to go now. About 1st and 10 at the 49, only a yard or 2 away from plus territory. Kraft in the gun. Tucker, Hutchison wide right, snap. Kraft rolls, looking, pressure coming, dunks it out, looking for Tucker, but it sails out of bounds, incomplete. Kraft doesn't try to do too much, throws out of bounds, stops the clock. And it looks like a penalty marker potentially came in on that far side. And it might be against the East Hickman sideline because there was that issue, that warning issued earlier. And it's an unsportsmanlike conduct called against East Hickman. So we can't hear everything that goes on the sidelines, but clearly something was said the officials didn't like or deemed inappropriate. And Aiden, that just shows in these rivalry games, things get very chippy. Both sides do a lot of talking, but that time it costs East Hickman some very valuable yardage when they're looking to keep momentum going into the half. But now Hickman County, 2 penalties later, they're at the 36 and have plenty of time to score with 40 seconds left in the half. Kraft in the gun, motion street, snap, direct keeper, has room down the left side, lowers his shoulder, tries to get out of bounds, can't do it. The clock keeps rolling, but the sideline official near the Bulldog side stops the clock. I believe a timeout was called by the Dogs, and yes, it is. With 29 seconds. And if you're the Hickman County side, you would have hoped Kraft could have gotten to the sideline. You know what they say, beggars can't be choosers. He got a lot of yardage right there on the carry, moving in the right direction. You got the timeouts in your pocket, may as well use them.
We do want to take this opportunity to let you know we are just 62 days away from Christmas 2025. 62 days away. It's getting closer by the minute. So do your shopping now.
And Aiden, as we're here, we look out at the crowd tonight at this football game. We've seen the crowd's packed in. You know, with the maybe the chillier temperatures, maybe people decide to get here a little bit late, so they're in the cold for as little time as possible. We have a lot of bodies still trying to adjust these cooler temperatures, used to the 80 degrees that we saw just a couple of weeks ago. But everyone comes out here tonight for these East Hickman games. So here we go. After the timeout, second down and 1. Snap. Kraft wants to pass. Rolls right. Fires for Hutchison. Had him open, but it falls short. And right there, Aiden, that route looked very chaotic by Hutchison. He was trying to go a little in out right there. Not much going. He was open for a brief moment there. Just a little too much movement. Maybe Kraft wasn't on the same page. The pass falls incomplete. Third down and 2 for the Dogs. 25 seconds. Under center. Snap. Give to McCaleb. They're going to keep it on the ground. First down. And a timeout. An immediate timeout by Coach Smith. And Aiden, although it hasn't really worked tonight, you still got to keep the ball in the air. I mean, a play on the ground that gets stuffed anywhere shy of the sideline or the end zone, that more than likely ends the half with no points on the board. So I think you got to trust your starting quarterback to go out there and make a play.
Definitely, Josh. And, I mean, with the talent that we saw Andy Kraft make this year and last year, I think Hickman County can definitely make something happen in this next play.
And this is one of the downsides of having these, 2-minute drill type scenarios where you can't really afford to take your time. Andy Kraft has been a very methodical quarterback. He's led with his legs, if you will. He's not known for his arm. I think if you asked Andy, he would tell you that himself. He feels much more comfortable keeping on the ground, running it himself, following blockers. But it's times like these, you got to step up. You got to level up if you're Andy Kraft. Snap. It's a give. McCaleb wants to throw. A little bit of trickery. Airs it out. Incomplete. Over the head. Looking for Andy Kraft. So Coach Smith and his bag of tricks here tonight. Letting McCaleb air it out. Now, Aiden, were you familiar that McCaleb had that kind of cannon on him?
I did not, Josh, but it was very cool to see. Maybe he can make a play later tonight.
Maybe a little too strong of an arm he's got. But also well defended by the Eagles. Even if he gets Andy in stride right there were still 2 defenders in the area. They were well prepared. Kraft wants to throw. Pressure off the edge. Escapes to the right. Looking downfield. He's going to keep it. Cuts inside. Wrangled down at the 15. And with 1 second remaining, no timeouts for the Dogs. That brings us to halftime. And it was the first half that was all East Hickman. Your score, Eagles 22, Dogs 7. We'll be right back for the halftime show. Don't go anywhere.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald family. Heritage Bank and Trust and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And welcome back to WNKX live on YouTube, Facebook, and on 96.7 FM. This is the halftime show brought to you by Heritage Bank. And at the half, East Hickman currently leads 22-7 over the Hickman County Bulldogs in a rivalry game that was much anticipated. But Aiden, I don't think anybody could have expected it would have been that lopsided of a first half.
Yeah, Josh, I feel like everything did go to East's favor. But we have a whole half to play. Everyone thought it'd be a close game. It's not really a close game anymore, but Hickman County can definitely make a comeback.
And I think it goes back to what Coach Smith said when I talked to him earlier in the week. He said it all depends on who does the little things. And East Hickman has been able to convert those third downs. They've been able to move the chains when they looked like they would be certainly in a punting situation on fourth down, but they've made it into something manageable. So East Hickman has had a never-say-die attitude on the offensive side of the ball. Between the workload of Micah, Godfrey, Luke Cole, and Drake Cole, they've been putting in work. Austin Ware, number 15 as well. These guys have been alternating. They've been spreading the love, if you will, offensively. Hickman County, you can never be so sure as to who's going to get the ball. And East Hickman, that was the same concern they had coming into this game. With Hickman, you never know which Bulldog is going to get the ball, whether it's going to be Armstrong, Hutchison, Street, a Kraft keeper, McCaleb. Both of these sides have so many dynamic ball carriers that bring so many different strengths to the table.
Definitely, Josh. We have so many talented guys, and hopefully that we can connect all the dots. What you said earlier about how Coach Smith was saying we have to do the little things right. We had a lot of penalties and setbacks in that first half, and so hopefully in this halftime break he can talk to them a little bit about just being smarter and not letting the rivalry intenseness, get to them.
Yeah, for sure. And now if you're on the East Hickman side, if you're Coach Austin talking to his guys, you might be leading 22-7. But still, wasn't a very pretty first half either for these guys. Now, they were doing more things right than Hickman County. That much is undeniable. But East Hickman had their fair share of penalties, and they were those avoidable penalties, personal foul calls. Those are the penalties that will drive a coach absolutely crazy because of how easy they are to avoid for the most part. I know there are obviously exceptions, but both teams certainly going to have to be more disciplined going into this second half, limiting penalties, and we didn't see any turnovers, but we did see the ball on the ground. Once for East, and they did recover their own fumble, but one turnover we did see was the interception. Hickman County trying to keep the Eagle defense on their toes by mixing in some passing, just couldn't find their man, and that's one of the drawbacks of not being a pass-heavy team or really a team that relies on the pass more than 3 or 4 times a game, is that your quarterback is ill-prepared for those situations. His in-game reps are not as much or as high as you'd like them to be or as much as they need to be probably if you want him to execute on those big-time throws in these big-time moments.
And Josh, like we were saying earlier, East Hickman and Hickman are just running teams. Maybe for Hickman County we can change it up a little bit, and maybe East will do it as well. I don't know. So can't wait to get into the second half action.
And I think for East Hickman, they have no reason to change it up yet, other than being a more disciplined team, but that doesn't really affect your play calling, how you want to approach the offense. And with East Hickman, they should probably be approaching a more if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality. Because if you're East Hickman, you got to look at the results. Hickman County, plain and simple, has not been able to stop Micah Godfrey. They haven't been able to stop really any of the East Hickman ball carriers, so why would you change anything up? I think Coach Austin and the rest of the coaching staff for East Hickman is going to force the Bulldogs to make those adjustments, to prove that they can stop the run, because if you're a coach on the East Hickman side with the lead, you run the risk of overthinking, of thinking yourself into a hole, trying to be too cute, get out in front of the storm, if you will, try to keep the other team guessing. But why keep them guessing? It seems like right now that East Hickman could tell Hickman what they're going to run, and they still haven't been able to stop it yet. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this great Hickman County coaching staff is able to make those adjustments, because we know they're going to have to. They can't hang their head. They have to come out playing with a fire that really was surprisingly lacking in the first half. We know this game, Hickman County has been a team that has thrived on energy, and that's most sports that the Bulldogs have. The energy of Hickman County sports here at Centerville is really unmatched. Regardless of how good or bad a team might be on any given season, but this Hickman County Bulldog football team, they came out very lackadaisical. They came out not looking as sharp as a lot of the fans and coaches and probably the players thought they were going to look. So if Hickman County can silence the noise a little bit, understand what it is they're playing for, right? There is that added pressure of a playoff spot being on the line, which if you're just now joining us, that is a pretty big part of this game. The winner has a guaranteed spot in the playoffs come November 7th, which is the first round. So that added pressure might be what's causing the lack of focus on both sides, I would think.
Yeah, Josh, I mean, because it's rivalry week and there's many people here at Hickman County, I mean, there's a lot of pressure getting played, and that may be why sometimes Hickman and East are kind of frazzled, don't seem to know what they're doing, but hopefully that they can silence the noise, as you said, and just keep things under control and just play football how they know how to.
Well, and Aiden, something else to mention too, it being senior nights is going to be a lot more added pressure as well, because the same with homecoming, right? You never want to lose on these big marquee nights. So not only it's not a rivalry game, but it's senior night, and it's a night, a celebration that means a lot to these parents and these senior players who have given their all to this program, who have given their all to this school as a whole with their extracurricular activities as well, with their academics. So this means a lot to these guys. So emotions are running high, but it's that emotion that can also make you try a little bit too hard. You start playing out of yourself instead of playing within yourself. It's almost like if you have a grip on something and you tighten your grip so much, the grip then begins to loosen. It can fall, pop out of your hand. And I think that's what we've been seeing from these Hickman County Bulldogs thus far here tonight. A little bit, trying a little bit too hard with that pressure that's being added on to them.
And on the other side, Josh, with East, I mean, they're playing for a playoff spot as well, but they know it's our senior night, and they want to get the best of us, right? They want to get the best of Hickman County, and so each side is fighting for something very important, and so it's going to, I believe it's going to come down to the wire, ultimately.
Well, and Aiden, not only is this game about bragging rights, but even more so than that for that East Hickman side of the ball. Can you imagine a big rivalry game? Not only can you knock your rival out of the playoffs, but you can also beat them on senior night. There are so many things this East Hickman team can play for trying to be the spoiler. But not just being a spoiler for Hickman County, also trying to claim some things for themselves. But it's going to be a very interesting second half, and I think the first drive that East Hickman has, because they will be receiving first to start the third quarter, it's going to tell us a lot. It's going to tell us a lot about the morale of the Hickman County defense, but it's also going to show us how Coach Austin plans on leading his Eagle offense on the field, if he wants to keep it consistent or if he wants to spice it up a little bit. But only time will tell. We've got 7.5 minutes until the second half kickoff. So, Aiden, I want to change gears a little bit. This has been a very busy weekend for Hickman County as a whole. Of course, tonight is the big rivalry game here at Centerville, but also tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. we have the iconic Hickman County Halloween Parade. So what are your thoughts on that, Aiden, going into tomorrow?
Well, I will be at the Halloween parade, not on a float or car or anything like that, but I will getting the candy. I love eating the candy, and that's one of my favorite parts of Halloween. So what about you, Josh?
Hey, I'm right there with you. Who doesn't love some candy on Halloween? So long as it's the good stuff, right? So tomorrow night as well, WNKX, I myself will be joined with Carlin Thomason. We will be broadcasting the Halloween Parade live at 6:30 tomorrow night on the Centerville Square. And you can check that out on YouTube and Facebook as well. We obviously encourage everyone that can make it to show up because it's awesome. I mean, there's probably going to be pushing 40 floats, if not more, in this thing. And Aiden, I tried telling people, I don't think everyone understands just how seriously this town takes Halloween. I mean, you've seen it yourself firsthand.
Yeah, Josh, I mean, you would think we would take, Christmas or one of the bigger holidays, celebrate it a little bit more. But Halloween has always been a fun time. Um, Places have trunk or treats and different things like that, and so the community really comes together during this time. I mean, it's football season, a lot of good things happening.
Yeah, and you make a great point. I mean, on top of having the Halloween parade, I mean, you can stop by various churches, businesses, organizations. It seems like almost every big-time name or company in this county does some sort of trunk or treat or gives out candy to people that want to stop by and see their business or what they're about. So you said it best. It is a phenomenal time for the community. And, of course, Hickman County does do pretty good for all the holidays. Of course, the tree lighting ceremony around Christmas time, and our PA announcer here in the press box, Matthew Dotson, probably the biggest fan of Christmas. And we're going to ask Mr. Dotson now, how many days are there until Christmas?
62 days, Josh. 62 days to Christmas.
There are 62 days until Christmas. I'm sure many of you heard him say that himself. But how exciting is this time of year? You got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all right here together. You got the leaves changing, the cooler temperatures, football season's ramping up. You got postseason baseball. My goodness, you couldn't ask for a better time. And we know, Aiden, you're a member of the Hickman County basketball team. That starts here in just a few weeks. So give us some insight on how you guys have been preparing and what that's looked like for you guys.
Yeah, Josh, I mean, we've been practicing hard. Practice has been intense, and so we're definitely ready for the season. I think it'll be a good season. Coach Dawson is doing a phenomenal job along with the other coaches, and so I think it'll be a fun year.
And we're looking forward to it as well at WNKX. You guys are always a privilege to watch, as are every Hickman County sport that has us. It's always fun traveling, getting to go along with the team. Same with football, basketball. Trying to expand our reach here at WNKX. Try to get as many sports covered as we possibly can.
Now, Josh, going back to Halloween, what is your favorite piece of candy that you would like to eat?
Oh, man. Okay, you're putting me on the spot. So, actually, I was talking to some friends yesterday. I think I have 3. I have a big 3. I don't think I can name just one. I think if I had to give 3, I'm giving it Crunch Bar has got to be up there. Might be a hot take. I love me a Crunch Bar. The Snickers bar. That candy bar has been an absolute staple in my life since I was a kid. I don't know if it's just a baseball thing. I know after every baseball game or in between games, JV varsity games, after a game, whenever, you're always going to the concession stand and get a Gatorade and a Snickers bar. Can't go wrong with the Snickers. And my third candy, I think it has to go to the Reese's. And now listen, Aiden, it's not just any Reese's. I want to get that pumpkin-shaped Reese's candy. And call me crazy, but they taste different than the regular cups. I don't know the science behind it or the magic to it, but any type of specialty holiday Reese's always tastes better than the original cup. The Easter egg ones, those might be the best, but I had me a pumpkin Reese's recently, and it hit the spot.
I'm going to be honest, Josh, I couldn't agree more with your answers. I would put Hershey's in there, cookies and cream maybe, and maybe peanut M&Ms. But, yeah, there's a lot of good candy out there.
I forgot about peanut M&Ms. That's a good one. If I had to give some honorable mentions, I think peanut M&Ms and probably just the classic Hershey bar. I like a good Hershey bar. Kit Kat was also one I loved growing up. But I've also really gotten into dark chocolate recently, like the Lindt, the very fancy wrapped dark chocolates as well. Now, you don't see those very often at Halloween for trick-or-treating because they're pretty expensive, but they taste really good. They're worth every penny that you spend. We are just over 2 minutes away from kickoff for the second half. I hope you've enjoyed our discussions about football, basketball season coming up, and Halloween, the parade, candy. Now, I will say the parade does go through the square tomorrow night at 6:30 downtown Centerville, but just because it starts at 6:30, Aiden, doesn't mean you should be pulling up at 6:30. As you and I have known who have gone to these parades before, they are packed. People are shoulder to shoulder at these parades. You got to park probably a mile or 2 down the street if you get there too late. So if you're listening and you plan on being there tomorrow night, make sure you get there in plenty of time to find a good parking spot.
And Josh, I don't know if it's just me, but the Halloween parade for Hickman County may be one of the biggest events that we hold in Hickman County.
I agree. Other than the occasional, firework ceremony, 4th of July, I think the Halloween parade is most certainly the biggest event that we have, and it's certainly one that people take the most serious. I mean, and something else about this parade as well. I mean, it's been going for the better part of 10 years. I mean, it's been happening for a long time now, and what else is special? There aren't any themes to the parade, which means whoever enters, whoever fills out a form and enters their float into the parade, they can do whatever they want. They can customize it however they like, use whatever decor they'd like, so long as it's spooky and scary. So we have a lot of creative freedom and liberty in this Halloween parade as well, and there's so many people that are involved that make this thing happen. So we thank all of you that are either going to have a float or are over the committee that plans this stuff, because I cannot imagine having to handle all of those floats and organize that. So you guys are the real heroes out there. So thank you for what you do, setting all this up for us. And Aiden, fun fact, Hickman County is one of the only counties in the Middle Tennessee region that have a Halloween parade, much less on the scale that we have it. And that's something that people have been telling me in the weeks past, that this is a big deal. It's serious. People take it for real. So we encourage you to show up, show out, support those floats, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of candy and entertainment for you. It will not be an evening wasted, that much I can assure you. So Aiden, do you have a costume this year? Well, that's kind of boring.
I need a costume, I did actually.
Well, I was originally going to have a costume, but, it fell through. Lost in the mail, lost in transit. So tomorrow night, I think I'm just going to dress up as a WNKX reporter. I think I pulled that off pretty well.
Josh, if anything fails, you can just pull the, Charlie Brown and just put a sheet over your head and cut holes.
Now, originally, Aiden, for the parade tomorrow, I was going to dress up as Dipper Pines from Gravity Falls, one of my favorite all-time shows growing up, and I still watch it to this day. But then I thought about it, wearing shorts and a T-shirt tomorrow night might not be ideal. I'm not built like these coaches are that I've seen wearing polos and shorts out there on the field. So props to those guys. I can't do it. I love the cold, but I enjoy being bundled up, wearing my flannels, my long sleeves, and my pants. So. And we are a minute and a half away from kickoff. And we have some stats that just got submitted to us by Wade Neely from Main Street Preps, who also works at the Hickman County Times. So a very special thank you to Wade for providing these stats for us. Look at the rushing numbers for the first half. And, of course, we mentioned his name, but Micah Godfrey. My goodness, what a first half that young man had. 9 carries, 125 yards, and 2 touchdowns. If you had a young Godfrey on your fantasy lineup, he would be getting you a whole lot of points. Drake Cole for East had 6 carries for 17 yards. Quarterback Lampley had 5 keepers for 13 yards. Blackburn, 1 carry for 2. Ware 1 carry for 1 yard. Luke Cole had a carry for 4 yards. On the Hickman County side of things, Hickman County had a total of 18 carries for 86 yards, compared to East 23 carries, 162 yards. So that's really been the tale of the tape so far, Aiden, in that first half. Andy had 7 keepers for 40 yards. McCaleb had 5 carries, 26 yards, and a touchdown. Hutchison had 4 for 19. Street had 2 for 1 yard. And then passing-wise, didn't see a whole lot. East Hickman didn't pass a single time. Hickman County passed a total of 5 times. Kraft passed 4 times, went 1 for 4 passing, 5 yards passing, and an interception on the day. McCaleb had 1 pass. Bet you didn't think we'd say his name on the passing stat sheet. Went 0 for 1 with an incomplete pass. And receiving, Jaden Street caught a pass for 5 yards. So that's our stats for the evening. And as we're about to begin our second half of play, East Hickman leads 22-7 over the Dogs. But still, 24 minutes to go to decide a winner. Plenty of time for this game to turn around for the Dogs, but also plenty of time for East Hickman to continue to assert their dominance. Lambert set to kick things away from the 40. And it's a low line drive kick. Fielded. 35. Diving down near the 40-yard line. They'll spot him down close to the 38, maybe the 39. It'll be around to the 39-yard line on the return. So the Eagle offense trying to pick up right where they left off. Lampley in the gun. Snap. Give up the gut. It's Cole. Fighting his way through tacklers, taken down at the 44. It'll be a 5-yard gain to start the half. And Aiden, as we said earlier, this drive by East Hickman will be a telltale sign of how the rest of this game is probably going to go.
Let's see, Josh, if Hickman County made some changes during halftime and they can stop the Eagles.
Very astute observation there, Mr. Weber. Snap. Give up the gut. Following his blocks. Stuffed at the 48-yard line. That'll be just shy of the first down. 3rd and short now for East Hickman. That was number 8, Drake Cole, again on the carry. And he's been the primary ball carrier on the few plays we've seen thus far in the second half. Godfrey, haven't seen him take the field yet. Cole in the backfield, flanking his quarterback Lampley to the left. One receiver in the slot to the right. Snap. It's going to be a direct snap. Keeper up the middle. Runs into a wall of Bulldogs. He's close. It depends on the spot. And the marker down there reads 4th down. It'll be 4th down and a couple of inches, if that. It is close. And East, almost a no-brainer here to leave your offense out on the field. Hickman County, the student section here on the Bulldog side. Neon construction night, very bright, a lot of neon attire, vests, and hard hats. Snap up the middle on this 4th down. The ball came out. I believe the ball came out. And East Hickman does have it. So that's a first down by the hair of their chinny chin chin. That was close. But East Hickman bearing down, moving the chains. Eagles on the move. So once again, this methodical Eagle offense just taking time off the clock. Snap. It's a sweep out to the left. Cuts back inside. It's Ware. And he might have still been on his feet. Lewis was fighting to drag him down. And they did mark him down a couple yards shorter than what it looked like he got at the end. So it'll be 2nd down and 4 yards for East Hickman. Now into Bulldog territory. And East Hickman taking their time. The whistle blows. Timeout on the field. Called by the Eagles. So maybe, Aiden, what we interpreted is them taking their time. Maybe they just weren't sure what play they wanted to run. They weren't on the same page, so may as well take that timeout now, talk things over, make sure you got the exact play you want to run, because while it still is early in the 3rd quarter, this drive, it could be a turning point. So if you rush the play, fumble the ball, a turnover happens, Hickman gets the ball back, boom, momentum changes on a dime. When on the flip side, you could have been driving, you take the extra time with the timeout to drive down the field, get the touchdown, and try to put the game out of reach.
And Josh, you couldn't have said it better. I mean, for East, if what you said is true, I mean, that's a huge positive because, like we said earlier, every moment, every play is key in this game. And so knowing the right play and not trying to make a mistake is very important.
So both teams out of the timeout. Already 8:35 to play in the third quarter. The Eagles have bled off almost 4 minutes in this first drive. And more than likely more minutes to come. In the gun, snap. No, it's a direct snap to Godfrey, who's back on the field. Fighting his way through tacklers, and he's finally stood up. And he's driven backwards and thrown to the ground. And I believe that Eagles side wanted a penalty, and perhaps they had a case, but when you have guys in that pile like that, it usually takes something egregious for the flag to be thrown. The officials choose not to throw it there. But if that had gone maybe a second or two longer, if Hickman County not disengaging, we might have seen the laundry tossed on the field. Hickman County making some subs on defense. Third down and short. Snap. Give to Ware up the middle. Tries to follow his blocks, patiently waits for something to open up. It looks like he's just down at the marker, should have enough for a first down. And yes, he does. And it seems like Aiden East is getting the minimum amount of yardage to get these first downs to maximize how much clock they're able to bleed off. And whether it's by design or by accident, it certainly works out in the Eagles' favor because they're not playing from behind. When you're playing with a lead, you can afford to bleed off as much time as you want or can. Hickman County doesn't have that luxury. When they get the ball back on offense, we'll probably see them going more up-tempo, trying to strike and strike fast. So another keeper on the ground, it's Lampley. Gets a modest gain of about 4 on the first down. Now 5 minutes have elapsed off the clock in this third quarter, and this has been the first offensive possession of the half. They are using every second of that play clock, and it served them well thus far tonight, so why stop? More subs for the Dogs. Second and 6, snap. Fires, has a man open, he caught it. What a snag by Ware, a fingertip catch, and he's gonna go for an Eagle touchdown. The focus and concentration of Austin Ware to bring that ball in. Kept his balance, and it was a foot race from there, and there was nobody on that Dog defensive side that was gonna catch him. So East widens their lead 28-7, and the 2-point team back on again. Two-point conversion. On the ground, Hickman County had it well read, shy of the goal line. They're not going to get it. So the two-point conversion is snuffed out. But all the same, East Hickman finds the end zone yet again, courtesy of Austin Ware, the pass thrown by Dwayne Lampley, the sophomore quarterback. And Aiden, it's so impressive how much time East Hickman was able to bleed off right there. Almost 6 minutes gone. So Hickman County now get trailed by 3 scores. Now the urgency all of a sudden just got a little bit more urgent.
Josh, they're going to have to go fast and furious style. Quick and up-tempoed.
They're going to have to combine all 10, 11, or 15 Fast and Furious movies and put all that speed together if they want to mount a comeback. Malugin to kick things off for the Eagles. It's a shallow kick fielded by Blystad. Still on his feet, rumbling through past the 45. And finally shoved backwards. Forward progress gets him down to the 46. So a pretty decent return there by Blystad. The Bulldogs with pretty good field position for their first offensive drive of the second half. So Aiden on the defensive side of the ball, Hickman County looked like more of the same. East Hickman moved at will. All credit to that offense over there. But how will the Hickman County offense look knowing they got that added urgency they got to have? So 1st and 10 Dogs. Snap, keeper, Kraft, follows his blocks. Holes open up, cuts back inside. Dives past the 45 into Eagle territory, close to the 46. And he's got enough for a first down. Waiting for the official signal. So a pretty good start. Andy Kraft, one of the more reliable ball carriers on this team, if not the most reliable ball carrier. Under center, snap, Tucker out wide, give up the middle. McCaleb finds some room, and that's another first down for the Dogs. Goes past the 35, down to the 34. So 2 plays, 2 first downs. Can't really ask much more if you're a Hickman County fan thus far. And if you're East defense, you can't allow the lead to lull you into that false sense of security. You got to stay spry. Kraft wants to throw, lets it fly. Hutchison, incomplete. No, it was Jaden Street downfield. There was a lot of contact downfield, and they'll probably get either a defensive holding or pass interference, or maybe even an offensive pass interference. It looked like Street might have been the one to engage there. But Kraft letting it fly. Hickman County digging into the playbook.
Flag thrown against the Eagles.
And it's a pass interference. They do call it against East Hickman. So Aiden, I'm a little surprised at that. It looked like at first Street was the one that kind of initiated the contact, but so long as he stayed on the path of his route, the official call stands. So Kraft in the gun now. After the chain mover at the 20, snap, gives, trying to drag some guys with him is Armstrong, but it's not going anywhere. Looked like a bobbled transition as Kraft tried the pop pass to Braden. That'll go backwards for the Dogs. He'll lose about 4. 2nd down and 14. 5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. We'll spot the ball back at the 23-yard line. Kraft in the gun, Blystad wide right, Johnson wide left, motions Armstrong. McCaleb in the backfield, flanking Kraft to his left. Now Armstrong moved from right to left. Snap, Kraft wants to throw, whistles blow.
Flag on the field, false start call against Hickman County.
Hickman County a little too jumpy, so that'll back him up. 2nd down and 19. Looks like it was Eli Johnson, number 23, got a little bit of a head start. So the Dogs, after a couple of big first down carries and a pass interference that went their way, just like that, they find themselves back in a hole. 2nd down and a very long.
Quincy, you booking a room on the Disney Fantasy.
Snap, Kraft wants to pass, pressure coming, steps up, and that's going to be a hold. Looks for Hutchison, pass incomplete. Well covered by the Eagles.
That's the only thing that's going to save my number.
And that flag was thrown in the backfield. The pressure was coming by East.
$250, that's all it takes. Fully refundable.
And maybe right there, Aiden, some desperation from the Hickman County offensive line. They knew their quarterback was going to take a shot unless they held right there. So a sacrifice they were willing to make. But East Hickman will decline the penalty to set up the 3rd down and 19. So 3rd down and very, very long for the Bulldogs. Kraft in the gun. Street and Johnson wide left. Snap. He wants to pass. Good protection. Now the pocket falls apart. Kraft rolls right, wants to run, scampers out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So they'll spot him. He went out of bounds actually just shy of the 20. They'll spot him at the 21. And right here, Aiden with 4 minutes and some change, down 3 scores. Offense going to stay on the field. So 4th down, the Dogs got to have it here to keep their hopes alive in the game. One must think. Kraft wants to throw. Fires over the middle. Incomplete. Sails it over the 6'4" Blystad. And that's a turnover on downs. East Hickman will take over with 4 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the third. And Aiden, that's really been a big difference as well between these two teams. In these down and long, down and distance plays for the Eagles, they've been almost automatic. They have been able to convert those 3rd and longs, or at least make those 3rd and longs in the 4th and shorts, which they've converted. But Hickman County just has not been able to get some big first downs when they've needed the most.
Is Ben still here?
So the Eagles now certainly will be trying to burn more time. The ball's loose. Godfrey lost it, and he fell on it, diving back near the 15, and a penalty marker was thrown quickly. That'll be a holding against East. And usually, Aiden, you don't see holding calls take place that quick after a ball's been snapped. And a rare miscue there by Godfrey, just lost a handle on it. He's been so good tonight, but able to recover his own fumble, so no harm, no foul. And it looks like Hickman County will be accepting the holding penalty instead of taking the 3 or 4 yard loss that came with the fumble. And the officials still talking things over with that Bulldogs sideline. I believe there's something wrong with the clock.
Dane, fix it. Dane, fix it.
Hey, put 3:55 on the clock.
3:55, Dane.
So the clock read 3:21, but now reads 3:55. After the penalty, they accepted it, which means the clock has to roll on back. Just like daylight savings time. Roll the clock back. Snap. Key on the ground. Godfrey on the carry. Gets down to the 16, maybe the 17-yard line. And Pittman a little slow to get up there, but it's hard to keep that young man down. Shoots right back to his feet. Looking to walk it off.
Was released starring Jack Floyd. If you haven't seen it yet, head on over to YouTube.
So it'll be 2nd down and 14.
Coming out next Friday, the new horror
2nd and 14 from the 16.
That's right. You don't want to miss that either.
Direct snap, Godfrey goes right. Shoots through a hole, but is wrangled down by a couple of Dogs. And if he gets through that last line of defense, goodbye, Micah Godfrey.
67th will be released. Also coming up next week, a new edition of Hickman News Network, The Caleb Show, and more viral YouTube.
So another 3rd and long, Aiden. This is where the Eagles have been killing the Bulldogs tonight, has been on these 3rd and longs. And they haven't even been doing anything fancy or anything crazy. It's just been trusting your talented players to make plays, and they just have been making those plays. So Lampley in the gun. Whistle blows, flag on the field. Looked like maybe some movement up front, but who will it be on? The far side official signals an offsides or a neutral zone infraction, and that's what it'll be. So that'll move them up even closer. So 3rd down and 3 now for the Eagles. 2:38 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Do whatever dance you wanted to. Because you're all doing something different.
Yeah, he does just
He's always just being.
So Hickman County helping East out a little bit, helping out their crosstown brethren. Snap. Lampley keeps it right, follows his blocks, he'll have a 1st down. And he's close to the 35. Down to the 34.
First and 40, and they got a 1st down.
And there is an Eagle on the ground on the far side, injury timeout. We can't see who it is officially. We'll let you know as soon as we find out. And we haven't seen any injuries thus far until now, Aiden, so certainly a positive sign that it took until late in the third quarter for our first injury. Ideally, you have none, but in a game as physical as football, it's all about how many you can limit, because they're going to happen from time to time.
Definitely, Josh. And injury is something you don't ever want to see at any part of the game, but sadly, it comes in every sport.
It's one of those things where you're hoping that Hickman County can put their hatred aside for East, and East put their hatred aside for Hickman whenever someone gets hurt. Just to have that mutual showing of respect. And Hickman County did give a round of applause to the young man that got up. I believe that was number 26, Micah Godfrey, that was down on the field. So the last thing you want to see if you're an Eagle fan or coach. So out of the injury timeout, East did convert and got the first down at the 34. We also encourage you, if you haven't already, go check out the Hickman County High School YouTube page. They release so many wonderful creative works done by students. So we always encourage you at WNKX to go support those young guys and the works that they've been doing at the school. So first down stays on the ground, and that's going to be a sizable gain of 8 yards. That was Cole on the carry. Number 8, Drake Cole.
Yes! Dude, I started singing Purple Rain really loud earlier, and Sissy texted me.
So second down and short for the Eagles, under 90 seconds to go in the third quarter.
And then she texted me, that's what I was yelling. When I was yelling for the tush push. We had a fourth and short.
No, it was the jet sweep.
So Lampley in the gun, Cole to his right. Snap, goes directly to Cole. Powers forward, and he's got a couple of yards, but he's going to be just shy of the line of gain. It'll be a third down and 1, upcoming for East Hickman. And saying third down and 1 might be generous. It looks like it's going to be a third down in inches. Third and a couple of feet. And it's hard to believe, Aiden, that East Hickman has had this ball almost the entire quarter, it seems like. Trying to get Hickman to jump off sides in this third and short. Nobody bites. Snap. Give up the middle. Hickman ready for it. And he's swarmed. And he's going to go backwards. He'll lose a yard.
And he is stopped for the first down. Lewis Blastad.
They're trying to give it to Drake Cole.
And on the tackle.
It was Blystad, Lewis, and Smith, the 3 dogs there on the tackle. And East Hickman probably going to let the clock wind down and hit 0 in this third quarter. And both teams head onto the sideline. That brings us to the end of the third. Your score, Eagles 28, Dogs 7. This is our final commercial break of the evening. One more quarter to go to decide who has a spot in the playoffs. We'll be back.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald family. Heritage Bank and Trust and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And welcome back to Hickman County High School. We are just about to begin the fourth quarter of play. In this crosstown showdown, East Hickman leads over Hickman County 28-7. 12 minutes to go to decide a winner and to decide who will be claiming that final spot in the playoffs. It's been all East Hickman thus far. Lampley in the gun. 4th down and 2. Whistle and a timeout called. I believe it was by East Hickman. And it was. So the Eagles want to talk things over before this 4th down and 2.
Sponsor, Major Outdoors YouTube channel. Thanks to Major Outdoors for sponsoring tonight's Press Box commentary. I don't think he heard it.
And I'm sure in the background of this broadcast, you've probably heard the Hickman County PA announcer, who is our very own Matthew Dotson, a teacher at Hickman County High School, who runs the AV class, who has provided us so many wonderful students that have helped us along this WNKX journey. We're so grateful for all the work they've been doing and for all the help they've given us. And that help is hopefully going to continue for the foreseeable future. And as we mentioned at the end of the 3rd quarter, be sure to check out the Hickman County High School YouTube channel, where they have so many wonderful creative works. A lot of hardworking young men and women at Hickman County High School. We encourage you to support, if you're a listener, all these extracurricular programs, not just from Centerville, but for East Hickman as well. And they decide to punt it away, and it rolls down to the 30-yard line, inside the 30, down at the 28. We're now joined by staff at Hickman County High School, Matthew Dotson.
Josh, I appreciate you having me on, giving me this opportunity to really plug some of the stuff our students have been doing in audiovisual. We've got a lot of great projects coming out on our YouTube channel right now. Of course, we had the 4-part series, Saved by the Bell, the Hickman Years, a 90s-style sitcom. Just this week, we released an audiovisual 1 original film, The Hardwood Hassle. And then coming out next Friday on Halloween, Josh, get this, Friday the 67th. You don't want to miss that.
And Kraft on the keeper, stays in bounds, down the sideline, and they say he stepped out. Andy almost with a house call. That would have been a shot in the arm that this Hickman County team desperately needed.
Well, speaking of shots in the arm, Josh, next Friday when you watch Friday the 67th, it will give you a shot of adrenaline and fear, no doubt. If you've kept track of this 6-7 trend whatsoever, you know how powerful it is. And our students are doing a great job cranking out the content. Every Monday we're putting out the Hickman News Network. We've rebranded our announcements. We're trying to expand what we're doing as a YouTube channel. A lot of good content coming your way, courtesy of your students right here in Hickman County.
It's been a pleasure. That it seems like WNKX and the Hickman County YouTube channels have been growing side by side.
We've gone viral, I guess you could say, not in a good way, right? Not the spread of viruses, but going viral, as the kids say.
And a penalty marker down will back the Bulldogs up 5 yards to the 45. Motion street. And Kraft lost the ball, but picks it right back up and stays on his feet. Cuts back inside. Close to the 40, and what a nice recovery by Andy Kraft. Oh my goodness. Some miscommunication there between him and his receiver, Jaden Street. Was going for a little pop pass, it looked like.
Well, Josh, as you said earlier, Andy's quite good at improv. While I haven't seen him with a microphone in his hands in front of a crowd, he's pretty nifty on the football field.
Couldn't agree more.
I do want to send a big thank you to Dane Gilbert. Dane's not only an all-state golfer, he's also an all-state scoreboard keeper. He's been doing a phenomenal job this year keeping us on task up here when some of us might want to goof off a little bit.
And Kraft just says, let me let it fly, and it falls right into the arms of an Eagle. And it's going the other way, down past the 35 to the 36, and East Hickman continues to roll against the Bulldogs. That was number 5, Braxton Hill, the senior, with the takeaway.
Rolling is certainly in season, Josh. Our house got rolled probably 2 weeks ago, and it was not fun to clean up.
Actually,
I thought that was a good comment. Wait, what did you say?
So first down for East Hickman going the other direction.
He said he's taking
And things have just gone from bad to worse for these Bulldogs. They really haven't been able to get out of the starting gate here this evening. And East Hickman been able to take advantage. It's a give, a sweep to Ware. Up the middle, plowing forward, close to the 45. Gets about a gain of 8. They'll spot him down at the 45-yard line. And Aiden, you got to think that might have been the hammer, the nail, and the coffin for the Hickman County Bulldogs in this football game. Barring some miracle, these Eagles have been doing such a great job at protecting the football, ensuring that time can bleed off the clock, and eventually capitalizing on the mistakes of the Bulldogs. And there's some room for Cole, stutter step. Drugged down into Bulldog territory, Drake Cole, a senior. So spot him down at the 42 plus territory as the clock winds under 10 minutes. And the Eagles once again slowing it down, using every second of the play clock. We've had a good crowd here this evening for both sides. See a lot of blue over there, but also a lot of students wearing neon and red and black on this side. Up the middle goes Drake Cole again. Decent gain of 4 or 5 yards. And both sides, what I failed to mention earlier, of course, Hickman County wearing the black uniforms, East Hickman wearing the white with the blue pants, but also we see both teams sporting some pink accessories, if you will, for breast cancer awareness. We've seen that trend continue over these last couple of weeks since October began. On the ground, the receiver Ware, wow, bowling forward, rolling over Jacoby Pittman. Down to the 29-yard line. So Ware has been a threat on the ground and in the air, with the only receiving touchdown on the game for either side. And Aiden, to touch a little bit more on the pink accessories that we see these guys wearing out here, I think it's something that everybody should do at least once throughout the month of October, and that's at least once, raising awareness for this, because we all know somebody that has either passed away or is fighting cancer right now, or has survived cancer. So it's important to have these moments of awareness. We have awesome events like Relay for Life that continue to raise awareness for cancer and also celebrate those survivors and mourn those who have passed on. So we love seeing these young guys out here, even amidst this football game, this rivalry, still paying tribute with that pink out there.
Definitely, Josh. Couldn't have said it better myself.
And the Eagles continue to drive now inside the 25-yard line to the 24, second down and 5, 7:30 to play in the game. East leads 28-7 over the Dogs. Spot in the playoffs on the line. Snap, another give up the middle. That's Cole again, plowing forward, and that's going to be a first down for East Hickman inside the 20 to the 19. East Hickman with a drive and a touchdown. If not already, could very well put this thing away. Snap, keeper, Lampley tries to bounce around the left and does, cuts back inside. Wefting and weaving his way through tacklers, close to the first down. He's going to be just shy, though, by about a yard and some change. I'll tell you what, Aiden, despite the score, these bands on both sides, Hickman and East, they have not wavered once. They have kept on going, and they sound great.
And Josh, there's still a lot of Hickman and East fans here, so showing the support for these football players out there.
So Lampley sweeps it inside, goes where? It's on his feet. I believe the ball was knocked loose, but East able to recover it. No, the Bulldogs got it. The official initially pointed towards East Hickman as if they had the ball, but no, it's the Bulldogs with a big fumble recovery with just under 6 minutes to play. So maybe they may not win this game, but they have a chance to close that gap a little bit. So first down, Dogs. Kraft under center. Snap gives to Hutchison. And a good first down carry by the man who always rocks the white sleeves. A signature look of Taylor Hutchison, that white undershirt. Gets about 8 yards on the carry. Second down and 2. Snap. Kraft keeps it. Tripped up but stays on his feet. Gets around the outside. Will have enough for the first down and is tackled out of bounds by Cole. Drake Cole, one of the guys there on the tackle. Alongside number 6, Kyle Nordick. Ball spotted at the 34. Kraft motion street left to right. Rolls right, wants to throw. Has time, fires. Great pass to Hutchison. Hits him on the out route for about 7 yards on the completion. Moves it up to the 41-yard line. And Nate, it seems like that's been a common theme for Hickman County thus far tonight. They've had some big plays. I don't want to take that away from them, but as far as capitalizing on those plays, they have a few plays here and there that stagnate out. They stagger out, and then East gets the ball, they get chunk plays, then they've been able to capitalize on it, and that's really been the tale of these two teams here tonight.
And Josh, we've said this multiple weeks. I mean, Hickman County, like you said, has a lot of good plays, but it's doing those good plays repeatedly, doing them over and over. And that's what gets you down the field and to win ball games, and they haven't been able to capitalize on that here tonight.
Street in motion. Kraft keeps it, runs right into an Eagle tackler, but he breaks free. Another broken tackle. Kraft is still going, churning his legs, and gets about 3 yards when it looked like he would have had a loss of 2. So you can't say these guys are not going to play hard until the very end. And we have to send a very special thank you to our cameraman tonight, Quincy Cochran, who was called upon as an impromptu cameraman. Did not know he was going to be doing this until a few moments before, so we appreciate him stepping up. Kraft wants to throw, slips out of the pocket, and finally wrangled down by number 47, Luke Fisher, the junior linebacker. So a third and long, a situation that East has been thriving in, Hickman County not so much. Just over 3 minutes to play in the football game. Kraft in the gun, motions Armstrong. Gonna sweep it to him. Goes out right, Armstrong using his quickness, but is wrangled and thrown down to the ground. And a late flag comes in. Now, Aiden, I got to be honest. I didn't really see the penalty right there unless they got him for a horse collar reaching into the jersey, which we can't tell from here. But the tackle appeared to look relatively clean. Now, the fans are livid about that call, but they can find solace in knowing that the game is pretty much a foregone conclusion. When they call a face mask, so I guess he got around the helmet, gripped on. So that's something we couldn't see from up here. So the referees, we have to trust that they're going to make the right call, even if fans and sometimes we as broadcasters disagree. But that'll move the chains for the Dogs, and the clock keeps rolling. Kraft in the gun. Armstrong to his left. Snap, wants to throw, drops back, has time. Lets it rip over the middle of the field. Caught by Blystad down at the 25. That's a first down for the Dogs. And the clock will stop as they move the chains, and it picks back up again. Kraft wants to throw again, has all the time in the world, steps up, and he's snowed under. Now, Kraft had some time to throw, but just great coverage downfield by the Eagles secondary. Just nowhere for Andy to go with the ball. We call those coverage sacks in the business, Aiden. That'll drop him behind the line of scrimmage by about a yard. Second down and 11. We won under 2 minutes to play. Gives Hutchison, has some room. Bursts upfield past the 15, down to the 14. And another Bulldog first down with 90 seconds to go. Hickman with one of their best chances that we've seen in a long time to get on the board. Devin Tucker subbing back in for the Dogs from 23, Eli Johnson. And the snap play is blown dead as a horde of whistles. And a timeout is called by East Hickman. With 1 minute and 14 seconds left, your score, East 28, Hickman 7. So both teams out of the timeout. And Aiden, while we never, ever say that a game is over before the clock hits 0, this one pretty much said and done. With 1:14 to go, Kraft in the gun. Wants to pass. Quick fire out to McCaleb. Nice catch by Braden. Oh, nice move. Cuts inside, down inside the 5. To the 3-yard line. So McCaleb making men miss down inside the 10. Nice catch. A little bit low and behind him, but made it work. So just over a minute to play. The Dogs trying to find the end zone. Tucker out wide left for the Dogs. Kraft snap. Give. And another whistle and another flag. And the official going over to talk to Coach Smith about what yet we don't know. We have to assume it concerns the flag that was thrown. And it will be offsides called against East Hickman. So off the penalty, first and goal for the Dogs from the 3. Snap, Street, cuts back inside, lowers his shoulder, and he's in for a touchdown.
Touchdown, Hickman County.
So Hickman County closes the gap with 1 minute and 11 seconds left to play.
No, but we bring the boom. Stop it.
So Aiden, right now, if you're Hickman County, your only hope resides in the onside kick. So now a lot of trust has to be placed on Parker Lambert, who really has looked good this season, especially considering it's been his first year. They try for the 2-point conversion, and he breaks the play, and it's good.
And the 2-point conversion is good. Dogs now trail 28-15.
Well, Aiden, this is the part of football where you ask the question, do you believe in miracles? And that's what Coach Smith is asking his guys right now. Do you believe in miracles? Because they are going to need one if they want to beat East Hickman here tonight.
I certainly do believe, Josh. It could happen. Anything's possible.
So out comes Lambert. I mean, you have to think it's an onside kick, right? Yeah, this call right here, whether it's an onside or not, shows us whether they concede or if they still have hope that a lot can happen in 1 minute and 11 seconds. And here comes Lambert. It's a low bouncer, much further than your conventional onside kick. And East just falls on it and kneels it down. And that's where they will take over, and that's where this game will end. We'll probably see a few kneel downs for East Hickman.
In 2005 for joining us here.
But Aiden, maybe Coach Smith has yet to give up hope if we see those timeouts called. Snap. They're going to keep it on the ground. Up the middle, Hickman County probably going to try to strip the ball out, just aggressively trying to tackle. But East secures the ball. Gets a yard on the carry, and the clock continues to roll. And with under 40 seconds left to play, the formalities are all that remain between this ball game and its conclusion as the East ball carrier wrangled down by a pack of Hickman County Bulldogs. But now, Aiden, we have to look ahead. Next Friday night, we will be on the road at Battle Creek in Murray County, which is very exciting for us. It's a new school, new opponent. And it's a chance for these Hickman County Bulldogs to start with a clean slate against a team you've never played before. Now, Could they be good? Could they be bad? That's where the mystery resides. But if you're the Bulldogs, you got to treat every opponent with the same amount of respect and dignity. You got to train every day like you're about to fight world beaters. And I'm sure that's what Coach Smith will do. But tonight, in the Crosstown Showdown, the East Hickman Eagles are victorious over the Hickman County Bulldogs by a final score of 28-15. And with that victory, the Eagles are playoff bound this year. They have claimed the final spot. So we at WNKX wish them a congratulations and best of luck in the postseason. But as for us at WNKX, the crew, we will be at Battle Creek next Friday night. The live stream will begin at 6:45 on the road, kickoff at 7 p.m., and that will be the final game of the season for the Hickman County Bulldogs. We hope you can be with us and join us on YouTube or Facebook. But we appreciate you being with us here tonight. For Aiden Weber, I'm Josh Copley. We wish you all a great weekend, and we hope to see you all tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. at the Hickman County Halloween Parade on the Centerville Square, where WNKX will be broadcasting the festivities. But until we meet again, we must bid you adieu, goodbye,